want to give some visuals about us. And then what I like to also do is a land acknowledgement. So we like to acknowledge that the land we're meeting on today has long served as a site of meeting and exchange amongst Indigenous folks, specifically the Lenape people. As a community, we honor and respect the diverse Indigenous peoples, which have affected cultures today connected to the territory on which we gather virtually. Kind of what we do is that we're leading force that engages in the liberation of historic underrepresented communities through development initiatives, activism, and community building between students, faculty, staff, and newer community partners. Kind of like the vision of what we see our center and what we do within our communities, which includes our students. So kind of in that sense, who we are more or less me as the director, the fabulous Mel McEwen, who is our program coordinator, and Maria Zamora, who is our program manager as well. So we all make up the team. So within all of that, we do things in reference to how we continue to unpack identity, how we continue to explore it, and how do we convert into change agents. That means cultural competency and diversity training, programming and events, personal and professional development opportunities, as well as advocacy and resources. Resources being one of the most important, as what Mel was stating about. Some of the programs and services that we do engage in is our dialogues, or our Are You in Dialogue series. It focuses as a space that we can discuss different identities or multiple identities in a sense of discourse while getting an understanding for the Are You in community. So when I talked about earlier coming from multiple identities, we have that space in Are You in Dialogue that we touch upon a specific topic and how those identities play a role within your experience at the institution, and how do we get to the root issue of understanding each other so we can be able to get to a space of understanding, change, and development as a community. More or less, it promotes for all of you in the community as students to come and discuss your views with the greater community. And more or less what we have right there is a couple of dates that we'll be having. Our first one is going to be on the 17th, in which we'll be talking about kind of Gen Z and Black America going on right now as one of our first topics. And as well, plugging in our Day of Dialogue that'll be happening on October 28th, more specifically that discusses dialogues that will be happening on that day through many different areas and many different students that would just want to be able to discuss on many different topics that are affecting them. So it's something to put up there. Some other things we have as services, we have our Are You in Dialogue facilitators. So we have a group of students that come together and kind of help arrange the dialogues and understand what the dialogue is going to be about. Our trainings, some of what Mel and Maria will be mentioning and have mentioned in reference to also some things with bias and cultural competence, student organization advising. That's what we handle as a center, specifically with everything that we do. We at least are in charge of almost 15 of our student organizations that have a culture or identity base in their kind of designation. And we do have our community of care spaces, our check-in spaces, and as well our community support through Heritage Months.